Yes.
Well, I know about that because I'm a hypnotist, so.
I said it to the right person. You can do this. Maybe you can put me under and make me forget my landlord issues. I need to go into hypnosis every time I see a cockroach. One day I was doing an interview and one crawled up my arm, Chris, during the interview.
Oh, I hate them. They're the worst things ever.
They were here to carry me over the threshold when I moved in.
Oh, no.
So anyway, let's introduce you to people on Facebook. Facebook, this is Comic Spot. Hi. I don't know where. Hi there, Chris. I don't know where to look in the camera. Am I giving you eye contact right now?
Yes. How about that? Are we?
That's horrible because I'm looking up over you because the camera thing's way up there, and I feel like you're looking at my.
I finally figured out how to do this correctly because yesterday I was all over the place doing an interview, and now I kind of got it figured out.
Awesome. We'll have to talk about your life here in just a second. So Comic Spot was created. So this little old lady here that looks a little bit like Gladys Kravitz met the Long Island medium could do interviews of comics so that people can get to know comedians and follow them and come and see their shows when we have our new normal. So that's what Comic Spot was for me to interview comedians. I'm an Army veteran. Were you military, Chris?
No, my son was a Marine, but I never served in the military.
Tell him thank you for serving our great country. So that's awesome. But today, you guys, this person here today in the other square is Chris Kostolefsky. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
You might say Kostolefsky.
You did very well because most people don't.
Do you have the strong O? Kostolefsky or Kostolefsky?
Kostolefsky, yeah.
Good. Perfect. I got pretty close. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's a great name. Well. So that sounds like it's from Europe. My parents came over here after Hitler. You probably see me post this over the last 10 years. Every time it's Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
So I'd like to read you Chris's. We're going to focus on Chris, not me. I promise you. I hate it when
you can focus on you. That's fine.
You'll put me under if I do. Put me under if I start.
Like do the little.
Yeah. He's a hypnotist too. Let's read his intro, you guys. You can find me on Instagram. Sounds like a song. You can find me on. You can find me on Instagram as Kostolef, Kostolef, and on Facebook. Gearing back up to get back into venues. Oh yes, aren't we? Has appeared on the improv stage, Icehouse, Flappers. He's done student films. And he was waiting for my link forever today. We got him here now because I'm done talking to my landlord. Let's focus on Chris Kostolefsky. Chris, help me.
Okay.
Let me out of here. I got to get out of this. Chris, welcome to Comic Spot. You're my buddy on Facebook for at least 7 years, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I think I probably met you at Flappers, right?
I never went to Flappers. I went to the Irvine Improv once.
Okay, so maybe I know I met you before at one of those places. So
I would think it's Irvine Improv because my sister lives in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
But let's get to you.
Okay.
Let's get to you. I don't believe I've met in person, and if I did and forgot, please forgive me. So you are hitting the major stages in the LA area.
Well, I haven't in a while. It's been a while since I've been on a stage. Last time I did a show was back in January.
You were pre-COVID?
Yeah, it's hard to get out, and I had a lot of health issues too, and I'm back. My health is back, and moved into a new place. A lot of different changes going on, but I really missed the stage. I can't wait to get back on a stage.
I'm so sorry you had health issues. What were they, and how are you?
I had a lot of stress and heart issues. But
Sorry.
I'm watching my health, and I'm walking every day, and I'm doing good.
Me too. Yeah, that's
It's all up
great.
here. It's in the head.
A lot of it is a lot. Sometimes we try to self-sabotage things.
Yeah, I think I did a lot of that.
I know I
Yeah.
have. So that's awesome that you're feeling better. You've moved into a new place. Are you loving your new place or liking
Yeah,
it?
I'm actually back in the place I was before I moved down to Murrieta. I'm back in San Dimas. I was in San Dimas and I moved to Murrieta. Now I'm back.
How long
So,
were you in Marietta? I have a daughter there.
oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of shows down in Murrieta area. That is Shamrocks and stuff with Johnny Herrera and people like that.
Maybe that's where we met because I started Aces 6 years ago.
Oh, maybe. So you know Rocky then.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
one.
So we might have met at one of those places down there in Murrieta.
I'll bet we
That's
did.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they got that Irish pub they got, and then
Right.
the downtown Temecula.
That's Shamrocks, which is a great open mic. And Johnny, the guy that hosts it, he's great. He
Isn't he
puts on great
fabulous?
shows, gets great comics. It's really good.
And you know, one of my good buddies, Bubba Butler, then,
Oh, yeah. From
and
Hemet.
then Nita Milner.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah.
And there's a gentleman there who is a short person out in Hemet too, comedian who happens to be. We don't say the word midget anymore. A short
Oh,
person.
Justin
Justin.
that runs Derbies out there in Hemet. Yeah,
Yes.
he's great. He's a great host, really nice guy, really
Yeah.
supportive of comics. I mean, there's some great people in that area.
Were
Really
you
is.
around when Taylor Tomlinson came through and blew up
You
so
know,
fast?
I've only met her once, I think, and I think she probably left that area because she used to be the host at Shamrocks,
I'll be darned.
and I think she did a lot of stuff at Aces too.
Yes, she
And
did.
then she's on, I mean, she's on a whole different level now, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yes, good for her.
Yeah,
She went.
she's really good too.
Yes, yes. Well, let's talk about you being a funny person.
Okay.
So, did you come out of the womb saying, "Well, you should see what happened in there," or like
No,
when did?
I think I was rebellious as a youth because I went to Catholic school, and
Wow,
I was always getting in trouble at Catholic school. So I think that came. And then my dad was a real prankster. He was a magician too.
really?
Yeah, he had a mail order magic business for a while. He was a writer, and he was a real punster, always telling pun jokes. And I kind of got that. And my brother's exactly the same way. Like we'd go back and forth on Facebook, and it's like pun master. It's like a battle royale of puns. It's pretty fun.
Oh my goodness. You know, in the comedy community, people who think that they're at a higher level of comedy look down on puns.
Yeah, you know what? It's I think that people do because it's an old school type of comedy. But I used to love all the guys like Henny Youngman and Bob Newhart, and a lot of those had wordplay and stuff, and it was fun. But
Yes,
I know people look down on it, but I think it's funny.
I do
I don't
too.
use it all the time, but I like it.
I like it when a comedian has a set of comedy and in there there's a bit or a run or a list, a bunch of tags that are like, oh, you don't like puns? Well, I'm going to do another one. I can tag that one. I can tag that. And they just list off a bunch of puns just to drive people nuts. Have you seen people do that?
Okay, I think we lost the connection.
We did.
Okay,
This is the way it happens on Zoom or the internet.
yeah, it
I
just
blame.
depends on the area, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Have you seen a comedian go on stage and hint that they have a pun and the audience buckles up and so they lean into it and just start dishing out puns like there's no tomorrow?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I love that.
But I think it depends on the audience too, because I used to do a lot of shows with seniors, like in senior centers and stuff. They
Yes.
love that type of humor. So
Yes.
you have to know the audience. If your audience is younger, stay away from the puns. But if you're an older audience and I do magic too,
Oh
which
my
is a
God.
visual thing.
Very visual.
So I think you have to read the audience And I think a lot of people don't know how to do that.
They don't. So have you ever done comedy with Will Morton and A Million Laughs?
Yes,
I
yes.
probably met you there.
That's possible because I've done so many shows. I've probably maybe 100 shows with Will.
Oh my
I haven't
gosh.
done any lately because he's been doing a lot of stuff with teaching and stuff on Zoom. But I'm going to try to do some of his Zoom shows too.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love him and Yvonne. They were so
Oh
nice to
yeah.
me 6 years ago. Let me come. You know, when my first couple months in comedy, they put me on a show.
Yeah, they were great. I turned a lot of people on to Will because a lot when I was taking comedy classes and I was meeting a lot of newer comedians, I was turning them on to Will, and they all became part of that whole circle. Like Howard, do you know Howard Aronin?
Yes.
Yeah, I met him at a comedy class, and then I told him about Will, and he did some shows with Will for a while too. So.
And then Keith Michael Ashton and Kevin Davis. You
Oh
probably know
yeah.
them. And then
All
the
those people.
doctor, there's a doctor.
Dr. Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Repick, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great. I met him at Flappers in Claremont, and I turned him on to Will as well, and he's incredible. He's great.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love his comedy. You know, I don't think there's anybody who is doing comedy whose comedy I can't stand by the, you know, if they're at the level where they've left doing open mics and they're doing shows. I love everybody getting up there. At the mics, sometimes I get tired of the body parts and body function
Yeah.
jokes.
You have to know the mics too. But some mics aren't like that. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of the newer comics have to regress to that, and you don't have to do that to get laughs. There's a lot of really good comics that are really clean. Like, do you know? Is it Andrew Davis?
No.
I think or is it Anthony? Might be Anthony. It's a new comic, and he comes from the South, and he's really big now. He's like #1 on Amazon, and he started doing a lot of those open mics, and then he just blew up. But he's doing really great.
That's good. So, how early in your life did people say you were funny? Tell me about, like, I can remember when I maybe was 7, pulling a joke on my parents to get them to quit fighting.
I don't know. They always said I was clever. You know, I don't think they ever came out and said you're funny because I did a lot of magic tricks and things like that when I was a kid too.
How early did that start?
I did stuff in the Cub Scouts. I did shows. So I was like probably 7, maybe.
Did they have a badge for magic?
A badge? No, they didn't have one for that.
Darn.
I had all kinds of other things on my sash, but I never had a magic one.
Oh my gosh. So you were up performing at like what age when you started performing magic?
I just started doing like just little shows for like school shows and things like that, doing magic. But then I got out of it for a long time. Then I got back in. So it's always been part of my life, but not always full time. Just
Got it.
always been an interest.
So at some point in your life, you thought, you know, I've been hiding behind the magic. Let me be also a comedian. And how did it go balancing?
Well,
What percentage comedy versus magic?
I never really mixed the two together. When I started doing comedy, I didn't do any magic with it. And it was much later that I started mixing the two together. I try to stay, because a lot of times when you do shows, people go, oh, magic, you know, they don't like magicians, I don't think, at comedy clubs. It doesn't seem like they do.
Yes.
And so I try to stick with the monologue stuff, the jokes. And so it's different. It's a different world.
Okay, so then let me ask the question a different way, since that's the case. At what age in your life, or how many years ago, did you start doing jokes?
Okay, that I can answer. I originally lived in San Francisco. That was my hometown. And I used to go to this place called the Holy City Zoo.
Oh, no.
Probably familiar with it. But a lot of people in the Bay Area comedy scene started there doing the open mics. They had a really
Yeah.
good open mic scene. Robin
Yeah.
Williams, Dana Carvey, Kevin Pollak, all the really big guys. And I did the open mic one time on a dare, and I didn't realize you need to have some structure and know how to write jokes. And I didn't know that. And I got up there and I just bombed. It was horrible. It took me almost 20 years to get the nerve to get back up and do it again. Yeah,
Wow.
because I just felt bad because I was in radio at the time and I thought I was funny because I did jokes on the radio, but I didn't establish a set or anything. So I went up there for the open mic. I wasn't prepared and it was a mess. So
Wow.
it kept me away for 20 years.
I believe it. Oh my gosh. But now you're killing it because you don't get into the Icehouse or Flappers or the Improv unless you're at a very
Well,
good
I'm
level.
not I'm not one of the paid regulars or anything either, but I know enough comedians and I've worked with a lot of comedians that are really big now. And I used to run shows, like I used to run coffee shop shows for about 10 years. And a lot of people that do the coffee shop are now in movies and all stuff. And, that really got me going was producing shows. I had about 7 shows going at one time.
What?
Yeah, I had
7 a
four,
month?
four chains of coffee shops that were every week. And then I had stuff at the Ice House. I had shows at the Ice House. But my ex-girlfriend really helped me promote that stuff. So
That's wonderful.
she really was a big help.
Oh,
Gotta
I
give
bet.
shouts out to her. So
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So, in your life of doing magic, what did you come upon what's a memorable scenario with your magic performing? Keeps wanting to freeze up. It'll unfreeze here in a second. For some reason, it's freezing up.
you there?
I'm here. It keeps freezing up on one end or the other.
Yeah.
So, what in your magic time, what are some memorable moments you had and some memorable moments in your comedy?
Well, the most memorable moments I had with magic is I trained for a while at the Chavez School of Magic, which is in Laverne. And that was great because my dad was a graduate of Chavez back in the 50s. And it's been around for many years. And a lot of people that are manipulators, stage manipulators, and all that went to Chavez. And I think that was the highlight of learning all the classic stuff in magic, and instead of just props and comedy stuff. So that was my highlight.
What is okay? So, what is stage manipulation, Chris?
Well, the cards and the billiard balls, thimbles, a lot of the hand movement, being able to palm stuff. I mean, really classic stuff. And that there's just a whole technique to that. I mean, you could have to practice 8 hours a day for years in order to get to the level of some of these people in Vegas.
Wow.
But learning the skills and actually working with the stuff really opens your eyes to what you can do with magic. Like there was one guy on America's Got Talent that I was in shock of the stuff that he was doing. That Shin Lin, have you seen him?
Yes, I remember that.
Kid? And he, awesome, just amazing stuff. And there's so many people coming out on that AGT now that are phenomenal. Matt Franco, people like that.
It is a great venue for an art form that encompasses the whole stage.
Yes.
And visual. And I feel that it's even if somebody could do it well, it would be a great venue for prop comedy. If you could do it at a level that would gain their respect.
Yeah. And I'm kind of one of those prop guys. I used to build a lot of prop type gag things.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Me
I mean,
too.
I like, a lot of people don't like that prop comedy, but Carrot Top is amazing.
Absolutely.
He's amazing.
And Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You got to give your props to the people
One of my favorite comedy magicians ever, who died back in the, I think, early 80s, was Tommy Cooper. The British guy used to wear the fez. He was one of the funniest guys. He had jokes during all his tricks. He was just hilarious. but he died really young on stage at
What?
I think somewhere in England at some big show. He died on stage, and everybody thought it was a gag. He had a heart attack, and people thought it was part of his act, but he died on stage.
Wow.
Literally died on stage.
Wow.
But he was amazing. He was a great comic.
Wow.
One of my heroes.
Mentioned, and another hero is probably your dad who did magic in the 50s. Can we talk about your dad's career?
Love to.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's been gone for about 15 years now.
Okay.
But my dad he worked as a clerk. It's in San Francisco, a county clerk.
Okay.
And whenever he got home at night, after dinner, he'd go in his office, he'd practice magic tricks, he'd write stuff. He wrote plays, he wrote all kinds of stuff, novels. I don't think he was ever published except for his poetry and stuff, but he always did that his whole life. And it was amazing to me. I've got so much of his stuff that I saved.
Oh my God.
His magic and his writing.
And so
definitely a different guy.
So is he a road magician? Did he go touring or?
No, he was more of a hobbyist. He wasn't a professional magician. He was just a working class.
It'll come back here in a second. It's doing this.
Our connection again.
Yes.
There we go.
This is what happens when a lot of people are on here and Zuckerberg is asleep at the wheel. The name Zuckerberg just gets a laugh. I can just say Zuckerberg.
No, you know what gets a laugh is his haircut.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure he's a great guy, but his haircut's
something else. You have a European name. You probably know that Zucker is sugar, Berg is mountain, and isn't that cocaine?
Probably. I know a little bit about that.
Back to the Holy City Zoo.
60s, 70s, and 80s. So I do know some about that.
Yes, and you were in San Francisco during that time.
Yeah, I went to over 400 concerts when I was a teenager.
What? Oh my gosh.
I saw every major band, Led Zeppelin, The Who, all of them. Jimi Hendrix.
The Beatles.
I did actually see the Beatles.
Do you know Helene Witt?
One time before they broke up, I got to see them.
So, Comic Spot, I love it. I know you've loved it. Let's keep it going. I need your help. I developed it so you out there can get to know comics, whether they're brand new or 45 years in the biz. We're going to get to know them so you'll know who to love. So all I need you to do is donate to my Cash App, and that is Linda Marcus Smith. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. I have a friend in New York, Helene Witt, who's from the Holy City Zoo time.
Oh, okay.
And she hung out with the Beatles. She has a Beatles room of her pictures with all of them. She met them all, followed them around the world. She still has the Beatles group that she meets with.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Who was your favorite music person from the 60s then?
I think my favorite is Jimmy Page.
Now, who's that?
From Led Zeppelin, the guitar player.
You say that like I should know it, but I was stuck with Neil Diamond.
No, I was more of a metal guy. I loved the Jeff Beck group. I loved the Yardbirds, the Kinks, all that kind of English metal. I like that stuff.
So
I was a big punk rock guy too.
No way.
Yeah. The Ramones, I probably saw the Ramones like 20 times.
Oh my gosh. That's super duper.
Yeah.
So San Francisco stories, you probably seen big people overdose or people going on trips and never coming back.
I worked for Bill Graham for a while for his merchandising company, Winterland. And we sold.
Are you talking about the evangelist?
No, Bill Graham, the rock promoter.
Okay.
The rock promoter with Winterland and the Fillmore West and all that.
Okay.
And we did all the promotional stuff like T-shirts for all the Rolling Stones.
So,
Looking up again.
okay, I'm going to let you talk. Say what you were saying. It seems to, when I talk, it wants to hang up. What were you just saying about
Okay, well,
the t-shirts?
we printed a lot of the t-shirts and the flyers, the concert, books and all that kind of stuff. So we did all the merchandising. We did the stuff for the Pink Floyd, for the wall, a lot of the merchandising. And we would actually go out sometimes to the concerts and sell t-shirts in the lot. Like we sold concert shirts for Journey, different bands. So that was one of the perks of the job, being able to sell t-shirts.
Man, you've seen a lot of show business, all the way from the time you were just at Holy City Zoo all the way up until now.
Yeah. But I had a lot of detours along the way because I started my family. I moved to Southern California, just got into a regular work mode, and then it took years to get back. And I think what got me back into doing performing was my daughter wanted to do a beauty pageant and she wanted to perform. So I helped her put a magic act together. And
you got to carry that down to the third generation.
And that got me so back into it again. And then one of my ex-girlfriends wanted to become a clown. So I taught her how to do magic, and she became a party clown. And we used to do birthday parties together and all that. So that kind of got me back into it. And then I took some stage hypnosis classes, and I took some acting classes. I did all these things, and it just got me motivated again to want to get back into it. And I kind of had a lot of things going on at one time, maybe too much, instead of focusing on one thing. But that's kind of how my mind works with the OCD and all that. I'm just all over the place. So
that's fabulous. You are very multi-talented.
Well,
oh my gosh.
I try to be, but
have you gone out and taught people in classes magic?
I used to do that when my kids were growing up. I used to do little magic classes for some of the schools, but I don't do that anymore. That was just something I did, as we did it as a group. Both my kids did magic for a while. And my daughter ended up going on to become an assistant for a magician up in Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
So she's a nurse now, and she's not into that. But
was it did being an assistant make her want to become a first responder, like a nurse?
I don't know. She just got tired of that whole scene. I mean, because a lot of the people you meet in the business, they're not real people. Yeah. So I like to surround myself with people that are positive and real. Yeah. I think she's the same way.
Oh, wonderful. It sounds like you're so proud of your daughter.
So then you have He's a great artist now. He's like a fantastic artist.
Did he do the painting behind you?
No. That's something my daughter got when I moved into the apartment. She just put it up there. So
beautiful. What type of artwork does your son do?
He does this really abstract. It's so unique. He's on Instagram and all that. And he sells his art. He's done a lot of art shows. He's just trying to build a brand, but it's so unique. The style, I've never seen anything like it. It's really.
I want to go look at it. Who is he on Instagram?
He's Fleazy on Instagram.
How do you spell Fleazy?
Fleazy.
Perfect.
But his art is, and he's really inspirational. He puts quotations on there. It's really, really good stuff.
Man, you have some marvelous children doing some amazing things.
That's probably the thing I'm most proud of that I've done is I've got two great kids. So
absolutely,
I couldn't make relationships work, but at least I got two great kids out of it.
You're preaching to the choir right now. I'm single because I couldn't make a relationship last.
Well, I think I made them last for 7-8 years at a time, but I don't know. It's just having that mindset of being scattered. But I'm different now. With all the things I've gone through in the last couple of years, I'm very spiritual now and faith-based, and I wasn't before. but
Wow.
it makes a lot of difference in my life.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what. I got hit by a drunk, you probably seen my post. I got hit by a drunk driver and I was given a diagnosis of dementia due to brain trauma. And they didn't think I would ever remember how to buckle my shoes, let alone anything
When
new.
was this?
1996.
Oh, wow.
And my daughter took care of me, which is don't ever let your children take care of you if you can avoid it. It puts so much pressure on the relationship. We're not
But
speaking now, so the day that relationship had to part for health, to be healthy, I called up Rocky and asked to have him teach me comedy.
oh, wow, that's neat. Yeah,
That's my story.
he's a great guy too. He's a great comic, and he does magic too. Rocky.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
I
he's a great
remember that.
magician.
Yes. I hear David Copperfield does magic. He
Oh
made
yeah.
Claudia Schiffer disappear. Stupid. That's
I
stupid.
love David. A lot of people say it's too theatrical, the David Copperfield, but I tell you, he's great.
Is he?
I've seen him live many times, and he's a great showman.
I don't really, like uh, a, a first time comic or somebody like David Copperfield or any comic or magician. I don't, it's great if they have fame, but what are they like off stage? That's what I'm into, is the human part of them.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot, because I'm a member of the Magic Castle. I'm not right now, but I was up until last year because I'm not even sure if they're open right now because of the COVID.
Yes.
But I used to go there a lot and meet with a lot of people, and there's so many of them are just they're working class people, lawyers, doctors that do magic, and they're so their magic is so good because they're so concentrated on their work, and they can also apply that to their magic, and it's amazing. And they're great people. They help people. They do a lot of benefit stuff. So there's a lot of really good people in it. And some of the stage people I've met, like people like Lance Burton, he's like a big star. I mean, he's huge in magic, and he is one of the nicest guys you ever meet. I mean, he's really a
Oh,
nice guy.
that's fabulous. I know I was with Harvey's Comedy Club doing interviews of of their
Up in
headline,
Tahoe.
Portland, Oregon
Oh, okay.
Harvey's. And when I was there, Jimmy Schubert came through, and like he didn't even ask consent to show magic. We were sitting down, he comes up and starts doing it at our table. I'm like, this is the age of consent. You have to get
Yeah.
consent. And he starts in with this magic, and honestly, I just want to tell you, I can't stand magic being shoved down my
Right.
throat. you know I want,
That's why
like,
I don't do table magic because that's it's so weird because you're getting in somebody's space. I mean, it's great. Some people are really good at it, and they ask and they come over and they do the magic, but some are just really pushy and they're just like forcing it on you. I'm not like that. I don't do
yeah.
that. I'm
and
not a
i
real
and,
close up guy. So
and that night I was thinking, I think I even told him, I said, can you make magic disappear? Could you just do that? Please.
well, a lot of the magic too, when you do like churches and things like that, people actually think it's like
Devil.
devilish or whatever, but it's just entertainment. That's all it is.
It's
And
all it
that's
is.
why I try to push that on them. This is, magic is life. That's
Yes.
the real magic. This
So
is
how
entertainment.
Yes, it's a great form of entertainment and people love it. I mean, people will fill up auditoriums to watch it, like not Carrot Top, he's prop, but they'll watch David Copperfield, people at Lance Burton,
Yeah.
they'll come by the droves to watch it.
Have you ever seen Mac King?
Never.
Yeah, he's big. He's like I think he's Lance Burton's best friend, but he's a comedy magician. They're both from Louisville, Kentucky, and they grew up together. Did like the amusement parks and stuff. And he's really funny, really down to earth type comic. And I think he's been playing Vegas for 20 years.
What's his name again?
Mac King,
MACK?
MAC King. Yeah,
Okay.
and he's
Wonderful.
really really funny. He's done some network TV stuff. It's been around a long time.
I'll watch his stuff on YouTube. That'll be fun for me.
Yeah, he's got a lot on there.
I just want to give consent that I want to watch it. I don't want to be told I'm going to watch it now.
Right.
So, you know, what else is against most old-fashioned Christian views is hypnosis, being a
Oh, yeah.
hypnosis. You know,
Yeah.
they think that's in touch with the devil too, but you're a hypnotist. So I want to explore what you do with him. Do you do that with your magic, with your comedy?
I really haven't done anything with it lately, but
Yeah.
my intent is to put a show together again someday, like a stage show. I'm not doing that now, but really self-hypnosis is it's all really self-hypnosis, all hypnosis, because if you don't have the consent of the person that wants it, it's not going to work anyway.
Good.
So all those people you see on stage, they want to be on stage. Those are the people you want to put on a good show because they're hams, basically. Those are the people you want on stage.
Wow. So you've done hypnosis on stage.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of it, but I got to the point where I was going to start doing a show, and then some things came up. I didn't get to do it. And then with this whole COVID thing, you can't bring people on stage. You can't touch people. You know, in this day and age, there's a lot of things that are off limits.
Yes.
So it's changed.
It's funny that Christian people, you know, very dogmatic Christian people that detest hypnosis have Benny Hinn, because I think there is hypnosis behind Benny Hinn Ministries.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that slaps his head and yeah. That's like the speed induction. You know, it's just like instant induction stuff.
Wow. You know, so what is speed induction?
Well, that's why you just get there. You'll just basically grab their hand and shock them into a trance. You know, like you see, like those preachers that do the thing, you're healed, you know, because it just pushes you into a trance, basically. Wow. But that's very aggressive and that's dangerous too.
Yeah.
People get hurt doing that.
Absolutely. Have you heard of a couple war stories of people getting hurt? It keeps freezing up on
and
us.
It's like you say, you don't want slowing down on her. Oh, here we go. Okay.
There we are.
We're unstable.
Both of us. Put us together.
Well, that's why we're in comedy. You got to be unstable to be in comedy. I saw your interview a while back with Marty Ross. He's great.
Oh my gosh. What a class.
He's great.
Class act.
Yeah, I think when he was first started doing comedy, he used to come out to the coffee shop and work some of his material, and he's awesome. He's a great guy, nice guy. It's so cool to see people like that rise up to the top. Yes,
I'm so tickled, and I keep bugging him by Facebook Messenger because he's on America's Got Talent, you guys. Yeah. So I write him like every couple, if I haven't heard on Facebook that he's going back up for the next level, I write him and say, when? Have you heard when the next time is Marty's going to be up on America's?
Has he only been on once?
I think so, yes.
I've only seen the one time where Simon was almost spitting out his Coke. I thought that was great when he did the peanut allergy joke.
Was that ever?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't seen him again, because I'm not sure how it works, because when he did the show, I think they actually had a live audience at that time.
Yes.
And now they're all on Zoom or on the internet now. I don't think they have live audiences right now.
So Marty might not really know what's going to happen when yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's working, because they froze all that because he actually had like a standing ovation from the audience. And then right after he went on, I think that's when the COVID hit and they shut down the live audience. So
he told me by messenger that he's going to be going up at the end of July. And then like a week ago, I was like, wait a minute, I hope I didn't miss anything. because you know, if they go up and don't make it to the next round and you don't tell them that you thought they were magical anyway, you feel bad. So I
Well,
wonder.
have you seen? There's so many people that I know that have gone on that show and have done great. Like there's Ryan Niemeyler,
Oh, okay.
Ryan, and then Samuel Comroe was on there. He did great. Jackie Fabulous, all these people that just did fantastic on there, and now they have like whole careers out of it. And they were
Yes.
doing the, traveling and doing everything, but now they just have really great careers out of it. And
It's,
then COVID hit, and now they're
yes.
all doing stuff on Zoom and Facebook. And
Well, I'll tell you, Zoom is like the great leveler. I mean, Jimmy Fallon isn't doing anything more than what you and I are doing right now.
yeah, all the late night guys, and even Trevor Noah and people like that are all on doing the Zoom, and probably there. I think there's different platforms in Zoom. There's other ones out there,
Yes. Yes.
but
A
I think
bunch.
most used is Zoom right now.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So in your life, what would you say other than being proud of your children and you've accomplished, I would say you probably feel like you've mastered as much of the magic that you want to?
I don't think I'm one of those people. I don't think you ever are a master of anything. I think you have to constantly change. And I'm learning that in all this because I didn't know technology and things like that. I'm actually learning how to play guitar right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, and I always wanted to. I never did. I have a guitar and I have an amp, but I never learned to play it. And I'm sitting when I'm watching TV, I'm watching some horror film or whatever, and I'm sitting on playing guitar, and it's actually starting to sound like I can actually play guitar now.
Wow.
So that is great because maybe I'll start a senior punk band or something. I don't know.
Oh, that would be cool.
But it's just cool to learn new things because I was very closed off. I was very depressed for a couple of years, going through really bad times. And this really changed. This COVID thing forced me to rethink a lot of thought processes in my head. And I'm learning new things. And I think I'm going to do that till the day I die, is just keep learning and
Awesome.
being a better person.
Well, you know, you went through a health scenario that probably preempted COVID changes too. So with the two of them.
Yeah, the weird thing is I think it was back in December, I was doing a lot of open mics at that time. And I think it was late December. I got really sick after doing an open mic because there were a bunch of comedians just coughing all over the microphone. And that just really is annoying to me. If you're sick, you shouldn't be doing a show. Mm-hmm. But I got really sick like 2 days after that. And I was sick for about a month and a half. And I've been really sick. So I might have had COVID before they even knew what COVID was.
Yes. I was the same way. I got sick back in November, December, and I thought I was never going to get better. I bet I had it before.
Did you have all the symptoms? Because I had all the symptoms of COVID. I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell or anything, but I had all the body aches and everything else, just like COVID. Very similar to that.
Yes. I only lose my taste of smell, my senses of taste and smell when I cook. I don't like eating my own food.
So in other words, you're not a good cook.
I don't even like tasting it before I serve it. So
I'm a good cook as long as I buy it from some other place and just heat it up. Then I'm great.
I say I'm only half Jewish, but I figured out how to keep a kosher kitchen.
I'm the same way. I'm half Jewish too. Because my dad's family were Russian Jews that came over to America. And then my mom's family's all English.
I was going to say with the name Kostolefsky that you must have some Jewishness inside of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's wonderful. What year did they come over?
They came over right around the revolution.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a good time to be a Russian Jew back then. So a lot of them left Russia at that time.
My parents came over after the Holocaust.
Oh, so in the
They
40s.
weren't good at timing,
Yeah, yeah.
but at least
They,
they got out.
I don't think Russia's ever really been that friendly to Jewish people either.
No.
And back in the because back in the revolution, a lot of Jewish people were forced out,
Yes.
treated pretty badly.
Even like Mila Kunis, who's married to Ashton Kutcher,
Oh yeah,
she had a lot of that anti-Semitism in
yeah. Well, she's
Romania.
Ukrainian, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you, your parents, I want to talk to you about your dad. That I
Okay.
find that super interesting because as a little kid, I'd open up the match things where, like my parents would need a cigarette and I'd open up, try to light their cigarette. And there'd be advertisements for magic.
Oh, with the little hypno glasses and stuff.
Were your dad's ads? He was Chris's dad was a magician in the 50s. So and sold magic items. So
Yeah,
was that where all did he sell them?
he did. Well, there used to be a magic trip called Glorpy, and it was like a scarf, and it would rise like there was a spirit inside of it.
Okay.
And that was something that it was a company that created that, and then he bought them out and he sold it through mail order. And I remember at times when we were kids, we would actually help at the booth at some of the magic conventions selling the products. And he
Wow.
did that for about 3 or 4 years. But he always went to magic clubs all the time. I used to go with him, and he was always into it. For most of it, I think he was a member of the IBM International Brotherhood of Magicians for 50 years, and
Wow.
I'm going on 40 years being a member.
Did your dad get you into magic?
Yeah, I think initially, yeah, yeah. But I watched him do a lot of stuff, and then we used to go to conventions all the time. I think we went to our first magic convention was at Disneyland, the first year of Disneyland, and it was at the hotel there. It was the Pacific Coast Association of Magicians, and it was a
It's just a second. It's not going to unfreeze here in a second.
again.
It froze up.
We keep freezing up.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's because today is my last day with T-Mobile hotspot, and I might have used up most of my minutes, and
Oh,
so it's low. I bet it's my fault.
well, it's not your fault.
I tried to make it
We're just
last.
we're just unstable people. What can we say? There's
You put
nothing.
two of us together.
It's you know what it is. It's the COVID.
It's
COVID
COVID.
got in the computer.
Yes, yes, indeed. What are some ways that you have been coping? You've been learning new skills that keep you positive. When you go out to get groceries or go for a walk, how do you handle the mashigana stuff outside the
Well,
door?
here's something I just started doing. Like a month ago, I finally signed up to do Instagram. I signed up a long time ago. I never did anything with it, and I'm seeing everybody on social media and getting in touch with people. And so I signed up for Instagram, and every day I go for a walk, I take pictures, and now I've got the Instagram layout on my phone, and I can move things around. And I'm posting like 15 different pictures with little puns or jokes or comments. And
Wow.
it's really fun when I go for a walk. I look forward to it. I take pictures of flowers and just noticing things around me. Simple things, but it just makes my day go by much faster. And it's not a negative thing, it's positive. And I'm getting a lot of contact with people I haven't seen in a long time by doing that. And I actually, one of my cousins, I found her on Facebook because I made a comment about some of my favorite movies, those challenges, like movie posters and films and rock and roll albums, things like that. Well, she liked one of my comments because I listed one of my favorite films, and it was her dad, my
It was one of those films. Say that
Yeah,
again.
my great uncle Dan Mannering, he used to be a press agent for Warner Brothers, and he was press agent for Humphrey Bogart. And then he was a novelist. He was like I think he was a writer for a newspaper for a while. Then he became a novelist, and he wrote under the pen name of Jeffrey Holmes. And he wrote a book called Hang My Gallows High, which became
Hold on, everybody. It, okay, try it again. Pen name.
Well, his pen name was Jeffrey Holmes, and he wrote a book called Hang My Gallows High. And it was one of those thriller type movies, like detective type movies. And that became Out of the Past. And he wrote that screenplay under that name, Jeffrey Holmes, as well. Then he went on to do a bunch of other films that were famous for film noir, the black and white movies at the time. And he did Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So he was really famous as a writer. There's all kinds of stuff on him on the internet about what he wrote. And he was part of the whole Hollywood blacklist era and all that. And
Oh my God.
I don't think his career was affected by that, but he did a lot of TV shows. He did a lot of movies, and a lot of his movies have been remade using his script. Like Against All Odds was based on Out of the Past.
My goodness.
So that 20, 30 years later, they remade it. And so his daughter found me on Facebook when I made the comment, and she's going to tell me all the Hollywood stories, which I really look forward to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's so this whole internet thing. I'm meeting people I haven't seen in years, and then I've got friends up north that I haven't seen in like 40 years, and we're contacted.
It'll come back in a second. Everybody, hold on. It's got to come back here any second now. There you are. Say that again. Play it again, Sam.
We're so unstable. What can we do?
It's going to be a lot of fun to post this and have people try to listen to it.
Yeah, this is fun. It's the first time I've really done this. I did an audition on this yesterday, just to kind of as practice. So,
yes. How do you feel your audition went yesterday?
Well, it was for a game show.
Nice. Awesome.
So they ask you the questions and want you to be animated, and I haven't done that in a long time, and we'll see. I don't get my hopes up on anything. I just do whatever I can do and be positive about it, and if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
That's
if not,
wonderful. Yeah, you're an inspiration to me, I'll tell you that. Thank you.
But we
much.
got to keep plugging away. I mean, there's so many people that give up too soon, and then there's people like Marty and people like that. They just keep going and they build new careers, and it's cool. It's really neat to see that.
Yes, it is.
I love to see what I love to see is actors that are in like their 80s or 90s that were like character actors years ago, and then all of a sudden you're still seeing them on camera, and they're doing great stuff, and that to me is great. I love awesome. That.
Who's a character actor that you still see today that you marvel over?
Oh, the one guy is Richard Jenkins. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in a lot of great stuff. J.K. Simmons, people like that. People that they're never stars in anything, but everything you see them in is great. And I always felt that way about Michael Caine, even though he was a star. Even in really bad movies, you always love Michael Caine. I mean, I love those actors that just keep working. They're constantly working, learning, And I think Michael Caine actually wrote a book about film acting, which is probably the best thing I've ever seen about film acting.
Wow.
So I love that, those
That's
people that just
awesome.
keep plugging away.
I love that. You're amazing.
Well, thanks. I try.
Yes, this has been a great time. We've been on here almost an hour with 30.
Really? Wow.
I think we came on a little after 20 after the hour.
Yeah.
That's an hour and 2 minutes and 48
Wow.
seconds.
I don't even last on the telephone more than 15 minutes most of the time.
I know, just seconds. 1
Sure.
second.
Okay.
Who is it? Who is it? Second. I'm on the phone doing an interview. I'm on doing an interview.
All right.
You don't need to do a 24-hour notice?
Yeah, well, this is for Marty.
What?
Marty needs them done today by noon.
It's kind of bad timing for me.
That's it.
I'm out. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's a pain.
Thank
Don't worry,
you
we'll
so
stay
much.
for us too.
Yes, bye. Sorry about that. They
Oh,
don't
that's
know
all
what-
right.
They don't know what a 24-hour notice is around here.
Uh-oh.
They had to check the smoke detector. I guess I'm too hot
Oh,
for
that's
this
what
place.
I heard, that little chirping sound. I was looking around my place, what's going on?
Of all the crazy things. You've been amazing to interview. You have such a rich family history in show business, and you have many multifacets in the business and lasted. Like you said, you look up to the people that have just keep plugging away and working, and that's you.
I
Look
want
at
to,
you.
well, I want to do that too. I want to put more effort into it now once all this is done, but I keep writing and stuff, and I'm just hoping to get back on a stage. I've had a couple shows that got canceled because of the COVID,
Yes.
but when it's all done, I'm going to be ready to go with my magic and my comedy. I'll be back out there.
Me too. I plan to be better because of this. That's why I like to ask a closing question, because
Okay.
everybody's kind of lost they've kind of gone bat crazy over this. But I like to ask this question when I part with people is, how are you going to come out of the pandemic as a better father or neighbor or human? Or you mentioned you play the guitar and you've been writing and you've been staying positive and you had a whole renewed spirit since being ill and with the COVID. So in some specific way, how have you become better that you wouldn't have without COVID? It froze up. It doesn't like me today. It's me. They don't like me. How have you become better because of COVID, Chris?
Well, I think introspection is like when you're alone and I've been meditating. I've been doing a lot of these things like self-help, just trying to get healthy and stay healthy in my mind. And I think it's making me a better person. It's being truthful to myself, realizing what my shortcomings are. And, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I can't afford to anymore at my age. So I'm just going to keep positive. And my kids have been great because when I was down, I was in a really bad shape, and my kids brought me out of it, helped me move into this place, and I talk to them. We text back and forth, and I go on their Instagrams and look at what they're doing. They look at what I'm doing. And it's really keeping me sane. So I think I'm going to be a better person after all this.
Wonderful.
I'm going to keep working at it.
It's awesome. Now you are a graduate officially of the Comic Spot.
Oh,
And
great.
that means that you're on the same level as Sinbad.
Oh, I don't think I'll be on the same level as him, but
And
it's an honor.
what it means really is that any month that you want to come on and plug anything you're doing, whether it's magic that you do or anything you're selling, merchandise or shows that you get booked on, whether they're Zoom or anything you want to plug. 5 to 7 minutes a month. I want you to come back on. I can always squeeze you
Okay.
on.
That sounds great. Yeah,
So
when things open up again, I'll definitely have some things to announce. So that would be great.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get off of Zoom and type your introduction and your links and a post interview, my thoughts about getting to talk with you and why people should listen. And it'll be a part of this interview post, Facebook post.
Oh,
But,
okay.
and then if you could check it for accuracy and let me know, because I'm not perfect yet. And then I have no ego. And then afterwards, I do have an ego. Anyway, so then after that, in about 3 to 7 days, my editor person will come out with a sitcom version of this. And it looks really cool. And I'll send that
Cool.
to you as well to share.
Oh, that sounds great.
Thank you, Chris.
It
You're
was an
amazing.
honor.
It was my honor to get
You
to
had
talk
one of
to
my
you.
friends on the other day that I watched her interview, Donna Main.
I love Donna.
Yeah, she's really good. She's a really, I mean, I don't know her really well, but I've done some shows with her and she's really an awesome person. So
Yes. I felt like I had a real bonding time with Donna.
yeah, she's really, really cool.
Yes. Thank you. So I wish more women, if you know any women entertainers out there, tell them, because
Oh, I will.
you get
Yeah.
one woman out of every 25 men. And
Now, the thing is now there are so many more coming up. There's a lot of really great comics coming out, women that are getting into the scene, and they just have the attitude. They don't take any crap from anybody, and it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's original stuff. It's not like everybody else's material. It's good.
yes,
It's truthful. So I like it.
absolutely. You know, I don't think that men are funnier than women, and I don't think women are funnier than men. And I want more women represented. I want them to step up and let themselves be represented.
Yeah, I do. Well, there's just too many. Everybody labels everybody. That's the problem. It's like, oh, this guy's too old or this guy's too young. And it's like, if you're funny, you're funny. And if you're unique and you have your own thing to say, you should say it. And it doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what sex you are. It doesn't matter. If you're good, get it out there.
I'm not really sure I'm a woman because I have never had a gender reveal party. I came out with a participation birth certificate.
Yeah, me too. Well,
Trophy.
me too.
That was our first. You're a woman. Good luck. I better
Well, it was
let
a
you
pleasure
go.
to talk. It was really fun, and we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yes,
fun.
I'd love to have you back on sometime. Please let me know when you have something happening
Okay.
for me to promote.
You have a good day, and stay away from those cockroaches. All right.
I promise. They need to have a 24-hour notice. Bye.
Bye.
Love you,
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody's